Hey guys, Reminiscible here. So I've been making YouTube videos and putting all my effort in, and this month has been the best month of all. Because I made not 3 cents, not 4 cents, not... I actually made more than 6 cents. I made 29 cents this month. And in other news, I bought... What's USD to Canadian? But I have another source of income. Okay, 1.27. So that, I mean, obviously it wasn't the same ratio, but if it was the same ratio all year, then I bought 1,575 Canadian. 1,575. No. That's not how I do math. I'm silly. 2,000 US dollars in Bitcoin times 1.27. Because that's, dude, that ratio is so easy. Okay. It's 2,500, 2,540. Okay, so 2.5 grand, about 2.5 grand. And I got back... How much did I get back out of that in Bitcoin? I sold it. I got back 12 grand. 12560. He gave me a $4 tip or $6 tip or something. What is minus something? 2540. Amount I made is, okay, I made $10,000 and 20 bucks from Bitcoin. And that was like, what did I have to do? I didn't have to, you don't even have to download the blockchain. You can just use local Bitcoin, although that's riskier. That was, I mean, someone could have hacked my computer and stolen all of it, but um, why did I do that? As the guy asks, was it luck or did I know it would take off? Okay, my guess was it goes up. It goes up from like 2,000 US per Bitcoin to like maybe 3,000 over the next few years. That was my guess, right? Maybe some fluctuations up and down, plus or minus 1,000. But that was my guess. And my guess, and okay, let's go through the yeah. My gut feeling. Um it's kind of like a protection, you know? If you don't trust, this is not why, but if you don't trust the big banks, maybe you want to keep your money at home, but it'll get stolen if you do that. So like you can have it in cryptocurrency. And a segue, because it's not just people who steal your money. It can be cops or governments who steal your money. So there's civil asset forfeiture, and maybe you're from Russia, maybe you're from China, maybe you're from a country that the U.S. is prepared to go to war with. Okay, I don't know the deal with China, but like all this Cold War propaganda, anti-Russia propaganda, um, maybe you don't feel safe investing in U.S. stuff, but like maybe you don't want your assets seized by the government. You can invest in Bitcoin, and so the thing is, when U.S. dollar strengthens, Bitcoin strengthens. But I think if the US dollar went down, there'd be like a little surge in people buying Bitcoin, so the demand would like go up a bit for Bitcoin. And also, if there's like World War III, then um, cryptocurrency can get around like trade sanctions and like you're not allowed to trade with this country, Like if there's a government or terrorists saying you can't send currency or receive currency from another country, cryptocurrency gets around that. Um, not like that's obviously a controversial thing, but like uh, say in Saudi Arabia, if women aren't allowed to like work without a man guardian or like was it Saudi Arabia? It was somewhere in maybe in Africa. I don't know. But if women aren't allowed to work, right, and get paid, you can still pay them with cryptocurrency. Okay? But I think that's a minor thing. I think that's a minor thing because that can't be the main thing. I think another reason is speculators. Why did Bitcoin go up so much? Bitcoin price graph. So this is where's the here? Look at this. This is the price. It went way up in 2014, and then it went. Where did it go? All. Okay, it went way up in 2014, and then wow, it went above. What was it in July? That's when I bought it. June, July. Lol, I bought it like when it dipped. So it went way up to like 3,000. Wow. And it dipped down, and it went up again. Went to 4,000 and people sold it. And then what is this ridiculous spike? 10,000? So it's been all over the place. It's been all over. It went up to 3,000. 3,000 is ridiculous. 10,000 is what? You could make a fortune now off a Bitcoin miner if it kept rising like that. Um, so these are all reasons why people might want Bitcoin. You know, um, speculation, asset forfeiture, tax loophole. Maybe people want tax evasion because there's a lot of people noticing, hey, there's companies evading taxes, or criminals might be evading taxes. So with Bitcoin, it'd be like not as obvious, I guess, if you're doing transactions through Bitcoin. So to like it's harder to enforce the law, I guess. And I hate saying that because like in Canada, most criminals are paid in Canadian dollars. In the US, most criminals are paid in US dollars. In Bolivia, most criminals are paid in pesos. And I sold now because I sold now in start of December because yeah, like in Bolivia, there was huge speculation with housing market, and like it just goes up and up and up. But at some point, whatever goes up must come down. Winnie the Pooh 101. When Winnie the Pooh sage, our one and only sage, whatever goes up must come down. So it's got to drop at some point. I can't believe it keeps rising. Like that's ridiculous. So I think a lot of that is speculation, speculators. But the other thing is petrodollars. So, like, China's investing in renewable energy. Russia, China, maybe thinking of like an independent currency. Middle East, like Syria, maybe thinking of an independent currency. I mean, Libya tried it, but they got kind of toppled by U.S. military. But um, who's to say that like countries start becoming less financially dependent on the US. And now there was actually there must have been some political pressure from NATO on the US now because before if a country was like, yeah, we don't really like being forced to export all of our oil through US dollars, strengthening the US dollar by creating artificial demand for the US dollar by forcing every country to sell oil in US dollar and buy oil in US dollar for imports exports. I mean, like all the oil exporters in the Middle East, if they don't sell in US dollars, they get toppled. That didn't work with Syria, but now there's a lot of people in the CIA, there's a lot of people in the military who say, hey, the Syrian government defeated ISIS in Syria. ISIS was widespread. We were there to fight terrorists. And now the Syrian government defeated ISIS. So we should stop attacking Syria. Like, we should stop attacking the Syrian democracy because they were the ones that defeated ISIS. Okay? there's still like Al Nusra Front, um, but also known as CIA Front. But that is a reason not to invade Syria. So I think there's less popularity for the war, and then they try to sarin gas, what it's called, psyop. They tried a a chlorine gas psyop, but they both failed because like it was like really poorly staged and really easily disproven. Okay, not like easily disproven, but like it's like the report, like Amnesty International and the CIA were on board with the false flag, but then it was like if you watch the Jimmy Dore show, it's like, okay, if these people are dead, why are they like opening their eyes and looking around, you know? And then there was the whole like, oh, now the Al Nusra is training children to have seizures at schools, putting them in gas masks and giving speech about like blah 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 about how like it's a chemical attack. Well, that footage got out on YouTube, and then YouTube blacklisted the video everywhere. Everywhere that video went, YouTube blacklisted it. The because it's a terrorist video. Like, how is that terrorist propaganda? Like terrorists like chopping off people's heads, or terrorists teaching children to have seizures so they can do psyops operations. That says to people who are thinking of joining Al Nusra or ISIS, huh, what a stupid organization. I'm never joining them. And it says to people like us in North America who are watching, huh, um, looks like they kill people violently, or looks like they're teaching these kids how to do a false flag with chemical attacks. And so Partisan Girl on YouTube, Partisan Girl, she was like, um, they're probably gonna do another psyop and blame it on North Korea. And then the video gets blacklisted because it has this footage of the Al Nusra training the children to have seizures while wearing not gas masks. I'm sorry, not gas masks, oxygen masks. I'm sorry. I meant oxygen masks. I was saying gas mask, oxygen mask. The thing when you can't breathe properly, they put on an oxygen mask like in the airplanes. That's what I meant. That they put that on the child in the video, and they tell the child to have a seizure. They hold the child and they're like, "Oh, it's a chemical attack," and then like that got that went all over social media because people were like, well, that's just pretty bullshit. uh, if it was like the same, I've got whoever fucking leaked that. Thank you. I don't care if you're a terrible person. You did humanity a service by leaking that video. All right, probably someone in this intelligent. I don't know. Whoever leaked it, thank you. Oh, that's so funny. They probably didn't want that video to be leaked to like the U.S. public, and then the U.S. public was like, "Wait, what? Why are these the same children who are supposed to be dead in the chemical attack?" Uh, there was like a news outlet on TV in the U.S. and they were just like carting around a leg, just like this leg in a wheelbarrow. And it's like, look at all the casualties here. Oh, this person's being taken to the hospital, and it's like. It's a mannequin, just this leg sticking out of a wheelbarrow. It's like, where's the rest of the body? Does this wheelbarrow have a giant hole? Nope, it's just a leg in a wheelbarrow. And then it's like, ah, I don't know. You don't really need to do CPR on like a leg, like just a leg. Like usually you do CPR if someone has lungs and isn't breathing, but I don't know. It was like a gun attack, right? So obviously there's no just random legs lying around unless it's from a mannequin and they're treating it as like a disaster victim. Anyways, But there are actually actual people dying in wars, like in Yemen. The what is it? Millions of people blockaded. I don't know how many people. It's like 100 children a day die in Yemen because Saudi Arabia and U.S. are bombing it and having a blockade, so the supplies to save these people can't reach them. The food can't reach them. So, anyways, it was going to be about Bitcoin, but I just turned it into a political rant. So obviously, I'm extremely biased, but I think with all this happening, with all of this shit happening, the US won't be able to control oil exports, and people will do their oil exports in their own currencies. US dollar is not going to be artificially inflated because, or well, it's still, but not as much because you don't have to buy your oil through US dollars now. You can buy it from Syria. You can maybe, I don't know, buy it from Russia. Maybe China doesn't need as much fossil fuels because they're switching to renewable energy. Maybe people don't want relative humidity to increase so our atmosphere doesn't get like Venus where it's just runaway global warming, um, which causes relative humidity to increase, which means more clouds, which means more global warming. You know how that works. Higher temperature, more clouds. That's because water vapor is a greenhouse gas. So clouds of water are a greenhouse gas. Are clouds man-made? No. But now that the temperature's higher, there's going to be more there's going to be more clouds. So that's why I'm like people are like, does global warming increase the severity of droughts? And I'm like, no. And then it was like I looked it up later after the survey and I was wrong. But I think in the long term, like maybe 100 years from now, droughts will be less of a problem because of all the because the temperature means more relative humidity in the atmosphere, which means more clouds. Or there, yeah, relative humidity is like how much water the air can hold, and it's measured as a percent. Anyways, I haven't studied this, but I do know what relative humidity is, and I do know how like evaporation works because science class. All right. So, what did I say here? Yeah, NATO doesn't want to go to war with Russia. Um, North Korea doesn't want to go to war with U.S. or South Korea. South Korea does. South Korea definitely doesn't want to go to war with North Korea. China doesn't want this. China wants a double freeze, which got rejected for some reason. And Syria just wants its people to be like safe. So yeah, there's people who like value human rights, and I don't think US is going to keep the oil monopoly, so the petrodollar is going to decrease in value. It's not silver backed, it's oil backed. And so all these countries switching to renewable energy, it's going to hurt the US dollar. Now, what does this effect have on Bitcoin? Well, if US dollar falls and you have Bitcoin, kind of tied into the other world's currency. So Americans might want Bitcoin because they're afraid of the US dollar decreasing. Russians might want Bitcoin because they're afraid of their assets being seized, you know. Um, People might want Bitcoin for tax evasion. People might want Bitcoin for speculation, for trading. Um, I don't know, to play Dragon's Tail. So there's reasons to have Bitcoin, but I have no clue why it went up. It still makes no sense. Oh, divesting from the big banks, right? Maybe people don't want to have the big banks. They don't trust the big banks, because the big banks screwed us over before, or they screwed the Americans over before. I'm Canadian. Um, so yeah, this is all reasons, like to have some other currency other than the U.S. dollar. But you know what? All the currency US dollar, Canadian dollar, Bitcoin, Chinese dollar, Russian dollar, pesos. I don't know what they use and where. All these currencies are interrelated because countries trade with each other. Um, so in the end, I have no clue why people want Bitcoin. I have no clue. And I never thought it would rise above 3,000, 4,000 max, right? So why is it worth like 10,000? What the fuck? And in Canadian dollars, it's like, what the heck? Remember when it used to be 400? Remember when it used to be 400 Canadian? Dude, Dragon's Tail and all these like Bitcoin dice gambling sites, Satoshi Dice or whatever, I don't know. Um, no, it was a different one. I don't remember. There's like a bunch of dice sites. Um, all the gambling sites are gonna have a bunch of Bitcoin, and they're gonna like be yeah, ooh yeah. So my biggest success this year of 2017 came at the very end when people were spamming about Bitcoin price, and I'm like, you know what? Bitcoin price is high. I might as well sell. INB4 price goes down afterwards. And what else did I say? I could be wrong. It could be, yeah, I don't know. People could be afraid of civil asset forfeiture. So I don't know. There's reasons for people to buy Bitcoin. And obviously, if you don't trust the bank, it's safer to have cryptocurrency than to just have money under your pillow for obvious fires and theft. So, um, dude. And then I guess there's even people probably don't think of this, but there's like now with technological singularity and Athena malware. Not that technological singularity is bad, but it just means there's going to be better viruses, and so the economy going to be a bit less stable. And cryptocurrency is kind of like a safer place to have currency. People are like, oh yeah, but yeah, fuck Bitcoin, whatever. It's who cares? You know, it's I'd rather have like a mathematically protected block of Bitcoin than a piece of paper that says like this is worth $20. You know, in the end, all currency is imaginary, and it's based on not imaginary per se, but like a mental construct based on an agreed upon value between humans. So like, okay, currency is not imaginary, but it's all currency is virtual. All currency is virtual. Goods are tangible. Currency is a virtual good to make the barter system easier, but the strength of currency is always going to be dependent on like supply and demand and who it's supported by and how much is printed and stuff like that. So I have no fucking clue why Bitcoin price went up, but those are maybe a few ideas. And some of them, so I'm sorry for preaching and getting all political. Those are my opinions, and my opinions, I have no way of verifying whether any of them are spot on or sort of relevant or completely irrelevant or completely false with regards to how it affects price of Bitcoin. So I don't know. I don't know. But everything revolves around the US dollar, man. And so if you follow the US dollar, then you'll at least figure out why other currencies fluctuate. Cause man, United States controls everything.